You need to get to the top of your mast. You might be by yourself, you might be at sea, there's nobody else to help you, and I once went up to a 30-foot mast just holding myself up the halyards, and it wasn't a joke. I had to free a cruising chute off a roll of furling, and by the time I come back on the deck I was shaking with nervous energy and a little bit seasick, and it was only a force 2, and I was glad to come back on the deck. Now this is an alternative. What I've got here is some plastic coated wire rope, which is got a breaking strain of 155, or maximum load rather, 155 kilograms. So when you consider this is doubled up, and there's more than enough safe working load on this for your average sized person. Now what I've worked out was the total length I need plus some as well, and also considering 200 millimeters each for these rungs, and that adds 4 meters, by the way, if you've got maybe 20 rungs on your ladder. And this particular rope is 3 millimeters and it's plastic coated, so it makes it 5 millimeters diameter. And what I've done is I've doubled it up, and I've got the center piece here, the center of it, which will be the area where you'll be hauling up with your halyard, and the other ends are ready to feed through. So what I'm going to do is to feed one end through there like that, and I'm going to feed the other end through the other side and work these up. These are just garden hose, and I will show you later on in the video what I like to do with that. I was going to use the plastic blue plastic water pipe, but I don't have it the right size of that. With these I'm going to have to tie the ends, otherwise the wire will just tear, and but this is a good enough spacer, I think, for your feet. So I'll show you, it'll make more sense when I start feeding the wire through, and you'll see what I'm doing. You need to settle on the spacing between the rungs, but that would be up to your idea. I think it's probably a bit less than what you might think, because it's not very easy to stretch your legs when you're trying to climb up one of these things. You can see this is the first rung I've done, and that red tape is the center of the wire, which in my case I've set at 24 meters, so I've got 12 meters either side. So that's the first rung. I've run the wire one way and then the other one coming the other way, and then you just repeat that all the way down. And what I was talking about was tying the ends here very securely so that there would never be any tearing. Alternative, you could even use a metal pipe, but what I didn't want was the thing to roll under your feet, which is maybe less like with a rubber hose. But this is just experimental at this stage, and we'll see how well we go. You can see the second rung's been put in there now, and you just work your way down like that, really. And well, what I wanted to show was this possibility of tearing on here. Is very hard to do it when I'm holding the camera as well, but I'll tension the thing now, and you see there would be tearing here if your weight went on it. And I think the thing to do here is to either put some sort of a lashing either side on this, strong lashing, or possibly use another material for your rung. But I'm going to stick with these for the time being and see how I go. I've settled now on 300 millimeters, or about a foot spacing, because that's unstretched. So I think that's quite, if I looked at an ordinary ladder and that was even less, 10-inch spacing. So I think that's about right. I haven't got big feet, but I started the binding with a clove hitch, and then just did a reef knot on the other side, and that'll stop the wire from pulling on the piping. And this binding has just been started off with a clove hitch, and then just a couple more turns as well on it, so to lock it. And you could tape over that maybe as well, I don't know, maybe that's an idea as well. And that will stop the wire tearing at the piping under load. I've settled on a spacing of about 320 millimeters, or about 13 inches, just to get a bit more length to it, as I've made a fundamental error with the length calculation, because what you have, the 200mm length of the rung is doubled up because the wire comes both ways. So in fact what I was mentioning as 4 meters is in fact it's 8 meters of wire is taken up with rungs on the distance that I wanted. I think it's useful to have a piece of scrap wood or whatever as a spacer, so that there's an uniformity in the rungs. I've tried another way here, clove hitch on either side first, and then bring these together for just maybe a reef knot, and it might just stop the rung from slipping up and then being an uneven thread. Then we'll see. I'll have a go at that. The knots have evolved a bit. I'm just looping it through now like that, and then double reef knots on both sides, and then I'm taping up all the knots with duct tape, and I've split the duct tape, which makes it a bit easier to wrap it around. And that's it. I'm going to get some bulldog clips for the ends here, and I'm going to clamp them down like that. But if you had long enough pieces and you wanted to extend, you could of course make an eye and have a bulldog clip on there. I got these clamps on now, and the idea of this ladder is that it's all hardware stuff materials, but I've got these stainless steel ones, so they're not necessary really if you've just got the ordinary galvanized ones. It's not going to be outside after all any length of time, and all that's left now is to put the sail slides on. I've only got 4, and I've got 2 different sizes, but the smaller ones just about stay in the track, so it's not a universal ladder. You've just got to use the slides that suit your mast, and that's it. I will try it out tomorrow and see if I can get up to the top of the mast. Because of my miscalculation there with the extra length needed for the rungs, I've got it a little bit shorter than I'd like, but I think it'll be okay. I can step up on the winch and away we go. I've got sail slides every 5 rungs. It'd be nice to have, say, every 2 or 3, but that's all I had. I got my bulb, and I want to get an LED bulb now to replace it. I was not brave enough to I took the camera up with me in my pocket, but I wasn't brave enough to try and open up the camcorder, and it's not so easy when you're holding on as well, and there we are, safety comes first. It's been a success, but I would recommend you put more sail slides in though, because my feet were kicking out at times, and however much you tighten the halyard, you end up with some stretch, and it's a bit unnerving when your feet go sideways.